Our chakras are always open, but whether the energy has the space to move depends on whether we are dense or whether we are light. It doesn't matter whether you have density or whether you are light. It just depends on where you are on the continuum of consciousness. What is it that you have bought into as shaping your experiencing that you have chosen to be at? So whether your chakras are open or they're closed or they're dense or they're light is irrelevant. What is relevant here, folks, is how open and how willing and how committed are you on your path of moving from an individuate sense of self to a self that is a part of it all and all of it. So you're always operating from I am I, and I into shunya, into void, into zero. When we look at people, we perceive each other. You can only perceive to the extent that you can perceive yourself. The more you see yourself, the more you see somebody else. The more you see yourself, the more you see everything around you as being the self. When you experience an awakening, you come to that understanding that everything that you're experiencing on the outside is everything that you are on the inside. That is not to say that everything that you're surrounded by, but everything that you're connected with, so much so that you gain an experience of it through a reaction to that, a response to that, through a thought, an awareness, a perception, a feeling, so that you become engaged with that. That which you're engaged with is that which is what becomes you. What becomes you is what it is that is externalized of what it is that is internally inside you. Now, when we perceive one another and when you say, why are your chakras closed? Really what you're asking yourself is, why are your chakras closed? So not the other person, but yours. Because when you're open and when you're light, you can perceive beyond that which can be seen or experienced through the five senses. So if you're experiencing something outside of you that is closed, you are closed. Now, the other thing here is about Kundalini. Folks, the word Kundalini, yes, comes from a Sanskrit word. But does that mean that only the Eastern world or those who are well versed with Sanskrit have monopolized the phenomena of Kundalini so that it is only available there and it's not universal, folks? No. Kundalini is everything. We have covered this in previous posts. Kundalini is everything that you see around us. It lay dormant within us as the term Kundalini, coiled 3.5 times. That lay dormant in us, because if it is not dormant, we are not fully functional, integrated in society as what we call fully functional. Yeah, what we have come to accept as normal are those of us that will have a dormant Kundalini, because you can function and meet the demands of a world that is 3D, that is only about what we perceive through our five senses. But when you experience a Kundalini activation, you move from experiencing just the 3D into 4D, into 5D, into other dimensions, into other portals, and another world opens up. As that opens up, we have spoken about this previously, you work through every meridian channel. Now, whether you want to call it Kundalini, whether you want to call it a chakra, yeah, whatever it is, when you are awakening or awaken, you will find parallels in language. Whatever is called Kundalini in Sanskrit will be called something else somewhere else. For example, Ouroboros. Yeah. Apart from this, there are so many other terms which I'm sure you're all aware of. It is, after all, a term. But what we are after is the experience of it, which is direct and not one that has come from a teaching. Not one that has come from scripture, not one that has come from another person, not one that has come from anywhere other than your direct experience. So what is your direct experience of this in your life as it is right now? Whatever it is that we have, whether it is Kundalini, whether it is any other name like a chakra, what are your associations with that? Do you have to be of an Indian lineage to be able to use this and to be able to understand this, right? Are we saying that Kundalini is something that the West can never ever comprehend because as an Indian, you've got a monopoly over it, or somebody who knows Sanskrit or somebody who's an Indian guru is monopolizing it? Absolutely not. And those of you who are awakened or are awakening, you will exactly understand, realize, integrate what exactly this is, right? Kundalini is the entire life force inside of us. It is inside of us. So everything that we consider, everything that is life, everything that is energy, everything that is Shakti, everything that is prana, everything. In fact, prana is a branch of Shakti, you can say, right? Prana is working for Shakti. So all of this together, folks, is the Kundalini life force. Now, all of that condensed stays in us, which is why we say each one of us carries with us the seed of existence, the seed through which existence becomes enacted. That seed lay dormant within us, and it can awaken, or it can move from being latent and dormant into becoming active, like a volcano. Yeah, it becomes active, we know, either spontaneously active when there is no plan, no sadhana, as far as this lifetime is concerned, or as far as you're aware right now. You could have done all of your sadhana and all of your preparation in another lifetime. Yeah, so that you would have created enough compression, enough pressure inside of your system for an explosion to happen. And that is where your spontaneous Kundalini awakening comes, which may not be as a result of any spiritual practices, but as a response to that compression that has come about. Near-death experiences, trauma experiences. There are so many experiences that have happened that have brought about spontaneous Kundalini awakenings. But remember, an awakening is not the same as a Kundalini rising. You can have a Kundalini awaken only to go back and become dormant again. A Kundalini awakening, a Kundalini rising is not the same as the chakras now moving the way they ought to be moving. Yes, when we have spontaneous Kundalini awakening and when we do have disturbances along the channel, along the path, these disturbances more than anything else are sometimes caused because of what we call blocked chakra. Now, what is a blocked chakra? It's density. It is density. What is density? Belief systems. Right? What are beliefs? Is everything, conditioned existence, everything that we have held on to that takes us and keeps us exactly where we are. Yeah, so it takes us away from all that is into all that it is that we think we are, which is confined in this 3D body. Lots of love, folks, and please don't forget to drop me a comment and let me know what you thought about this post. Take care.